Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot in a lovely, what is that, like a mock neck? Is that a turtle?
No. This is a sweater. It's kind of cashmere.
It's not a sweater.
This is a sweater. Touch it.
Tana, it's too thin to be a sweater.
It's really what you call a beige Freddy Krueger sweater. That's what it is, brother.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then Tana, with all, dude, can you pick your foot up, Tana, and put that on camera? Or is that not? That's understood. Dude, look at that shoe. Look at them green shoes, man. Like, that is such an awesome fit, man. Yeah, always. With the Miami hat, green Miami hat.
Put on.
All right, so guys, we got to do a little preview today.
Yeah.
Of the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's just start high-level thoughts.
Yeah.
Old New England Patriots, and our producer was very nice to kind of just give us this pot-stirring question right out the gate. Has Bill Belichick lost it, or does he need Tom Brady? Fred, what do you think?
Everybody needs someone. Like, come on. When you get married, your insurance go down, credit goes up. All right, when you're back single, you're trying to find your way mingling. And that's what Bill Belichick is trying to do right now. He knows he's the mad scientist. Like, I'm not taking away from anything. The best head coach of all time.
Really?
He just lost the best player of all time.
He's better than, like, Andy Reid or somebody like that?
I just think when it comes to – he dominated 3 decades of football.
He had the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks for that era.
I've been saying, though, but they go hand in hand. Ain't no Seifert without Joe Montana, Steve Young. Ain't no Andy Reid without Donovan McNabb, Patrick Mahomes. Like, they need each other. I feel like the thing with Coach Belichick, he's stubborn because after winning one way so long, he think he can remanufacture it, but he ain't got that one catalyst. Yeah. And that's the catalyst is Tom Brady. But on defense, he still be a Belichick. Don't get it twisted.
No, I got you. What do you think?
I think Fred hit on the head. I think everybody needs somebody, but he just haven't been lucky enough to have another Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I think Tom kind of
spoiled him.
Gave him a chance. Yeah, it spoiled him a lot offensively because he just was so let me try to put it in the best words. Man, this guy just made things happen at times where he, even if he didn't win the game for you,
made something out of it.
He put him in place to win games. You understand?
Every game.
And you got to think, if you have one of the better defenses that Bill Belichick is known to have, and a great kicker that he's had all the time, people haven't given him credit for his kickers. Now he had two Hall of Fame kickers.
Yeah.
So when you have 2 Hall of Fame kickers, a great defense, and Tom Brady, it's hard to overcome that. You know what I mean? So I just feel like he's still, to me, one of the best that ever coached the game.
He is.
But I think it's going to be tough sledding when it comes to just finding somebody to be on the same level as Brady.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's like, I think he's still a great coach. I think you see that with some of the stuff he does defensively. And I think, Bill O'Brien has not been amazing as the offensive coordinator, but it's better than it was last year.
Yeah.
I think the thing where Bill Belichick kind of falls down in terms of the roster reconstruction or construction of the current New England roster is that he is still trying to build a team like Tom Brady's on the roster.
Yeah.
So he just goes bargain bin shopping at wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll get by with this O-line. We'll We'll just make compromises because he's been able to make compromises for so long.
It's work.
And so, like, I think when you look at the offensive line, I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of, they're like a slightly worse version of our offensive line.
Oh.
Like, I think our offensive line is like, they work really well together. They do some things very nicely. Yeah. And I think the problem with their offensive line is that they're good in certain aspects of the game, but they're like kind of inconsistent. And so it affects Mac Jones. Then there's the receivers for them. And they've got a bunch of kind of, I'd say, individually talented guys that would be like 2s or 3s on different teams, but they're playing the 1 for them.
Yeah.
And they don't have the talent to elevate Mac Jones. And I just think that really hurts them.
And Matt Jones takes away the off-schedule plays because he's not nimble. He cannot manipulate the pocket. He's not an athlete when the play breaks down, so he don't give you those extra first downs with his legs and stuff like that. So you kind of trapped, and you have to depend on the scheme.
Yeah.
Scheme has to beat people, and that's why I think they're losing on offense. But on defense, I think the scheme is tough, man.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about this. Let's finish up our thoughts here on the offense real quick. But, so basically they've got some guys who are good football players, like Ramondre Stevenson's, I think, a great runner. Zeke Elliott's a good runner, but, definitely not what he was a couple years ago. Offensive line, they're fine. Trent Brown's probably their best O-lineman. He's a huge man.
No, he is.
He's 6'8", 400 pounds.
He's like 2 men and a half.
He's a guy that I think is kind of frustrating to watch because he's maybe one of the most talented dudes I've ever played with and I've ever seen, but very inconsistent with his effort. And then they don't really have a number one receiver, Tana. They got Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Juju came over and hasn't been Juju.
Yeah.
He got hurt, right?
Yeah, he's been hurt. And then they're literally their best player is little number 81, the kid they drafted from Liberty.
Oh, he was pretty dope.
Yeah, he's like a slot receiver.
I actually follow him on Instagram.
Do you really?
Yeah. But he can't be your number one.
No,
he can't, especially with an immobile quarterback. He cannot be your number one.
And it's like he does good stuff from the slot, but you don't have like Devontae Parker is. I think he's an okay guy,
he
but
stinks. He gets as much separation as a snail.
Well, so that's the other thing I want to say. They are like last in explosive pass plays as an offense. Last in explosive plays, period.
So maybe it favors us on the defense.
I think 100%. I think if there's a matchup where you say, what do like Jack, right? How does he match up here, right? They don't have anybody that I think really scares you outside, right?
Tight end, though, Gesicki.
Gesicki's a good football player, no doubt. Hunter Henry's the other tight end, good football player.
Good football player,
But and Farrell Brown is the guy, their third tight end, who's a converted wide receiver doing a good job for him. But you can't run an offense in the NFL today without explosive plays.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. And Mac Jones can't push the football down the field in the same way. And I look at what Jack Del Rio's done with this defense and how our corners have played against quarterbacks that aren't top guys.
Yeah.
Like, Tyrod Taylor, Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, this matchup defensively feels very favorable to me.
But both of those guys, I feel like they was elusive enough to kind of scare you at times.
When the play breaks down.
I'm interested to see how because we haven't played a guy like Mac Jones all season.
It's the first
so
one.
I'm interested just to see how much more of a, I guess, how much do we disrupt the front now that we know this guy really can't get outside the pocket?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Devontae Parker might be hurt, so they're even on like a lesser guy. Kendrick Bourne, you said, might be hurt.
No, Kendrick Bourne out for the year.
So they don't really have anybody outside.
No.
So it's like I feel good about Kendall Fuller matching up against the fourth wide receiver.
Yeah.
I feel good about Benjamin St. Judas matching up with those guys. Obviously, you got to handle those tight ends.
Cam Curl, Cam Curl, Deron Payne, John Allen.
But and then their offensive line's a little bit in flux, a lot of injuries there as well. But I just feel like defensively, like you said, Tana, they don't have a running quarterback. He doesn't have an explosive arm. They don't have explosive playmakers. They're very traditional in terms of approach. They want to kind of run and be physical, but they're not really built that way. They want to get back and throw in the gun. They're not really built that way either. They're an offense that it doesn't have a lot of playmakers.
Do they look at our team and say, you know what? Let's not try to throw the ball. Let's get Zeke and Stevenson.
Yeah.
And let's play ball against them and protect the ball and wait for them to make the mistake.
Yeah, kind of like the Giants did a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there is definitely a school of thought to that, where you kind of say, hey, let's just be physical and ride it out. And because I think this is maybe where the game is its most interesting to me. Is offensively, their offense versus our defense, the Commanders' defense. I'm kind of like the Commanders' defense should win that 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
The area that I find the most compelling is Bill Belichick versus Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Like I look at that and I say to myself, like,
I'm scared.
How does Sam Howell deal with that?
Yeah.
And it's not because it's not because they have like tremendous talent. Like they're talented on defense. It's an NFL defense, but they just do so much different stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's glaring to me is just, regardless of where they at in the years of Belichick being removed from his Super Bowl championships, when I'm watching these guys on film, it's the same type of play. I mean, you see the same intensity from those defenses.
On defense, yeah.
You see the style of play the same. Like
the
one
creativity.
You hit it on the head last. I mean, they was talking about this, about how like it's week to week game planning.
Yeah.
It's not what we do. It's what we should do against this particular outfit.
Yeah.
And when you have a guy and Sam that have shown struggles when pressure is given and shown that he's not really seeing everything through.
Drop 8.
Within the time scale of the play, you got to think, man, it's going to be one of those games. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that in the back of your head. But at the same time, this is where you have to have optimism too. Be optimistic about what we've seen, the progression from Sam week to week also, and say, okay, maybe this is the time he put 2 games together instead of just having one of those up and down roller coaster rides. So I'm scared just to know that we're going up against a guy like Bill.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm eager to see what EB has planned.
Yeah,
because now
too.
this is the time when you see, okay,
pen against pen.
you're a musician when it comes to putting up defenses. I feel confident about myself offensively.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can go out here and show you why I'm a Super Bowl caliber coordinator just as well as you're a Super Bowl caliber defense.
I am afraid defensively of the safeties. Peppers
Yep.
and
Kyle
Kyle
Duggar.
Duggar.
Yeah.
They are game changers to me.
Yeah.
And when they be playing that inverted 2-man and an inverted 2 and they running Peppers to the middle and they doing these things, I think that's the core. That's where the game going to be won at, inside the numbers with those 2 guys in the pass game and in the run game. So to me, as much as it's Belichick against Sam Howell, I think it's Sam Howell against Peppers and Duggar. I think that's where the battle will be won at.
Yeah, and I think the thing that sticks out to me, and you hit it a little bit on their head there, Fred, is they do a lot. Like their front, like sometimes they're in a 4-man front.
Yeah.
So how does the offensive line and Tyler Larson identify, hey, we're in 4-man, we got to block this with our 4-man
Where's
rules.
the mic?
Hey, we're in odd front, right? And we're in odd spacing with 2-5 technique. So what's our protection call for that? Oh, hey, we're in a bear front now. So the guards are covered, the center's covered. What's our call here? Oh, they're bringing all out pressure. What's the call from the quarterback?
Yeah, where the
And
hot.
it's just defensive volume from them is so high. And when you watch, when I was watching the Miami game, for example, they're running, I don't know what you'd even call it. It's like an inverted, it's basically like cover 3 with 2 lurk players.
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
And so, like it looks like it's Tampa 2. Those Tampa 2 the cover safeties, you mentioned Peppers and Duggar.
Yeah.
They drop into the lurk spot, and Tua throws a pick. And can you as EB prep him well enough to basically be like, hey, man, if you don't love it, don't throw it.
Yeah.
While taking away some of his aggression, taking away some of that
Do
uncertainty.
you tell him attack outside the numbers? Because it looks like everything's bunched up in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can't find none in the middle. Just go outside with the one-on-ones, comebacks, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw last week that give me a little more assurance that he's getting it is how quick he made the decision to run. I've seen him earlier in the year step into the pocket and not be decisive enough to say, should I just take off?
Yeah.
Or should I find somebody? And now you seen him just like, when he's stepping up, if it ain't there, he gone. So
I liked it.
This is one of those games that I want to see how decisive he is when it comes to picking up that guy that's going to be that
Lurker.
Not the lurker, but the guy that you might say, okay, he's going to be my safety net. I'm going to throw the ball to the flat to either
The back
to the back or
Yeah.
to the tight end, or I'm going to take off and say I don't have those guys right now because the coverage that they're playing, they're kind of taking that away also.
No, I think that's 100% right. And I just look at it and I'm like, when you compare him to Philly was like, we're going to play man, we're going to play cover 3.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do much different. And I think that's easy for young players to
Especially
identify.
seeing him twice too.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I don't like it's on a spectrum, obviously, but that's one end of the spectrum, relatively simple. We got good personnel. We're going to play it this way. And then you kind of work that spectrum going to your right in terms of complexity.
Yeah.
And the Patriots are way down here in terms of how complicated it gets.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's the story. Because, when you look at how he played against New York, Sam, in this offense, when it was a little bit more complicated, and you knew what they were going to do, but the rush patterns and blitzes were more complicated.
Yeah.
Just made it way harder.
Made
for
them think long. If you think long in the pocket, you think wrong in
Right.
the pocket, and that's what Belichick is gonna say. I want him to hold the ball. How can I manifest him holding the ball? Take away the quick game.
Yeah.
See, that's why
Yeah.
I said this. I think this is a B-Rob game.
Yeah.
This ain't really a Sam Howell game. They're going to try to take away their quick game and let them converse to the run while taking away the quick game. So I'm going to run off tackle. I'm going to run at your pass rushers, and when I'm ready to pass the ball, I'm going to push it down the field.
Right.
And I'm going to do it with the outside guys. I'm doing it with Terry and Jahan.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you play. I'm going to make you play honest.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the Miami game, Tyreek Hill was able to get some explosive plays on J.C. Jackson, who's back
Who's back.
from
Back,
not San Diego, the L.A. Chargers.
Yeah, L.A. Yeah.
And so, can Terry exploit that matchup? A guy that struggled in struggled when he was in LA, but is kind of playing a little bit better now.
He's fit for that defense.
Kind of man.
New England protects their corners. I'm telling you.
And so can Terry exploit that matchup?
He's a ball hawk too. So you didn't mention it. I forgot all about him being back. That's the guy too that you got to be careful.
Yeah.
With.
And so I mean, and then the other thing is like they've got all these linebackers, and it's like sometimes they're Russians, sometimes they're linebackers, sometimes they're
Judon.
Oh, and Judon's hurt. Judon's out right now. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So he's out. But guys like like Mac Wilson is a guy that he rushes the passer on third down, but then on some third downs he's a linebacker. So how do you ID that, right? And those are all things that this defense presents. So it's to me this week of prep is going to be so important because it's like, hey, do we have the right stuff ID? Do we have the right packages? When they're in this, do we have an answer? And then giving Sam those solutions. So that to me is the most compelling part of this because I think it would be really easy to see a Sam regression this week in terms of production. Unless you've really prepped it.
I don't think it's going to be a regression.
I hope not, man.
Only for one reason. During the years, even at Belichick's peak, he's always had a problem with Andy Reid's type offense.
Oh, really?
He's always had a problem with him. I'm telling you now. It's only a few offensive minds that's ever gave him problems, and it's been off of that Andy Reid tree.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And I think it got to do with the fact that the offense that Andy Reid teaches really is a take what you give me. Take offense.
Same
and I think that patience bothers Bill because he's waiting on you to try to make that play.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try to make that play? We're gonna take that play away from you because that's what you like. Well, no, when you get in this offense, it's like, I just throw it to the back 17 times, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I think it gives him problems.
I hope so. And I really hope that this shows a step in Sam's development.
I want to see 2 weeks in a row. I want to see it. I think this is the time of the year where you want to see guys come together.
Turn the page.
Yeah. I mean, we turn the page. We putting the past behind us and moving forward.
All right, so let's talk real quick about what the Commanders' advantages are in this game. And so we're going to do it with, I'm just saying. And we're going to pick a couple players. So let's start with a guy that we finished that last segment with.
Yeah.
And that is Sam Howell.
Okay.
So I guess I'll start. Or no, you want to start.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
I kind of want to hear what you got to say.
So we got Sam?
Yeah, Sam. Sam to start.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Sam is that guy.
Sam is that guy?
He's that guy. I mean, look, honestly.
And so what do you need to see from him this game?
What I need to see going forward, like I said before, we just talked about it. I just want to see 2 games put together.
Yeah.
I think we've seen him have one of those games where you say, okay, he's young. He had one of those games where you say, oh, man, this guy could be the next franchise guy. Then he had one of those brought back down to reality game where you're like, yeah, you can't jump the gun yet. He still has a lot more, maturing to do. I think right now, off of the body of work, and this is what I hate about division football. Like, when you play in your division, it's hard to really critique a guy because when you're seeing it enough, you're comfortable enough to what's going to be presented to you. Mm-hmm. I mean, the first time we saw him in Philly, I was impressed. Yeah. I was impressed because, to me, that was his first rodeo, Now, the second time around, I wasn't that impressed, but I was impressed just knowing what had transpired in New York. So, just to see him have that kind of composure throughout the whole game, not get sacked, do some of the things that we've been asking him to do, that shows that, okay, he's listening to not the outsiders, but you can tell the coaches are coaching him, saying, look, when you step up in this pocket, you're either going to go, get rid of the ball, or do something.
Right.
So the reason why I say that, I'm just saying he's that guy, because we get caught up into trying to see things happen right now. I mean, the future is still bright for the kid. I think it's going to be probably – to next year, we really know if he's that guy. But I'm saying it now that we need to put the rest of we need any other quarterbacks on this staff, although we probably going to need some backups. But I think he's the guy going for it in the future to be our starter.
No, and I think and for me, I think, to your point, Tana, for me to know that he's the guy or that he's kind of trending in that direction, I need to see him play well against a more complicated defense. Like the Bills, he struggled, right?
Yeah.
The Giants, he struggled a little bit, right?
But could you say that's also offensively we struggle as a whole, not just him?
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% right. And I think, but it's when the offense plays better defenses. Like, with the Giants, for example, we don't get the blitzes targeted correctly.
Yeah,
we don't have the hot routes worked out, and obviously everyone needs to support Sam, and Sam needs to handle those that nuance better. And I think that's what I want to see this week is if he comes out, doesn't need to play great.
Yeah.
Let's say he's, 20 for 30 for 200 yards and a touchdoal. Like, That's what I like. Just a solid performance because I think that's good enough to win.
Yeah, Steve, that's what I was finna say. I'm not saying, but I am saying that old Sam Theismann. I need him not to have 400 yards this game. I need a clean game.
Yeah.
Because if you can stay clean against Belichick, because I promise you, by halftime, he going to be in scene 7, 8, 9 different coverages. So if he get out to this game with no turnovers, lessening the sacks, just doing what's right. Like a perfect game to me is 190 yards, 200 yards, 2 tubs, no turnovers. We can win.
Yeah.
Like, we can win. I don't need Super Sam.
Yeah.
I need careful Sam on this one because that defensive coordinator, a.k.a. head coach, is putting all his money in the bucket that you going to give him the game.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to gift wrap it. It might not be in the first quarter, might not be in the second. This fourth quarter, you will gift wrap it to me. I want to see super careful Sam. And I ain't saying, but I'm saying, if he's careful like that, we win the game.
No, I think that's 100% right because when you look at the New England offense, we talked about it a little bit. They're really banged up.
They stink.
They can't push the ball on the field. And if it's a clean sheet, there's no turnovers. Gives you a chance to win. But this defense does a good job of creating turnovers. So can you kind of fight that?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next one. I'm not saying, I'm just saying this defensive line is going to play, I don't want to say better because it sounds like the other guys are playing bad.
Yeah.
They're going to play more consistent than the other group that was up here, right? And I think if they play more consistent, that allows John Allen, Deron Payne play a little bit better.
Yeah.
Back end can play a little bit better. They can do some more stuff from a drop standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it allows Jack to kind of get in his bag a little bit more, do some things more creatively.
Yeah.
And so I think that consistency from that group, from those backup guys specifically, is going to be a big deal.
I'm just saying this D-line will have the most sacks they've had in one game in this game.
I don't hate that.
This is why I'm saying that. First of all, they got a stool pigeon at quarterback.
Yeah.
All right. Matt Jones is the first non-running quarterback that they will have the luxury to dominate. All right. Well, what does that tell me? That the quarterback, I know where he's going to be at. The shortest way to the quarterback is the A and the B gap, and we happen to have John Allen in Payne. So I'm looking for Payne to have the highest sack total he's had this year, especially with a kind of beat down New England offensive
100%.
line. They're going to go to the quick game. So I'm going to say this. The most sacks the defense had in one game and the most pass knockdowns at the line of scrimmage that the defense has had, I'm going to say it's going to happen this week.
He's all in on that, huh?
Yeah.
I don't. And you know what's crazy is like I know this is like like an overread, but I think that's very plausible.
Yeah.
Because of the things you just laid out.
Yeah. I'm just saying that don't be surprised if things start clicking defensively for our D-line now. I say that because I feel like we get caught up into the hype of what we drafted and thinking like because you have the 4 horsemen, then you're going to have that same kind of production.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case. We've seen that all year already. We have been almost last when it comes to that production from our defense as a whole. And, yes, the sacks are there, but I guess the play hasn't been equal to the
meaningful
sacks.
plays.
Yeah. So, but I do believe, just kind of piggybacking off of what Logan said, is that when you have guys in there that is willing to not belittle themselves but lower themselves to the guys that they have around them, that is Pro Bowl type players.
Yeah.
Then you will get a more productive product. I'm not saying that Chase and Montez should have lowered themselves because they were stars too.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's difficult to have stars be stars all around each other. You need to have a guy or two that's going to allow that star to shine a little more. And I think last year showed us when these guys had a chance to play that those 2 guys in the inside really got their money because of those other guys allowed them to be efficient in what they do best. So I'm just saying. Don't be surprised if things start clicking.
Something just hit me. We watch it in the NBA all the time when people try to put like 5 All-Stars together.
Yeah.
And it don't work.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody giving.
Yeah.
Then we had a situation where
Gotta give a little bit.
Yeah. We had 2 DNs, both trying to get paid. And the way you get paid as a DN is to get sacks. So now we got 2 people rushing up field and with money on their mind, not the game at hand on their mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that money, that bag chasing contest broke the structure of the defense. And that's why I think to have a team, especially in basketball, with 3 all-stars and 2 grunt workers works a lot better for a full team to function than it do with 5 all-stars together, because I didn't see that fail before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so let's get to another position group. I'm not saying, I'm just saying this is going to be the best game for the secondary for this team. I think,
Yeah,
so what I mean by there's no wideouts, but what I'm hoping to see from this game is that there are no mental mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what I'm hoping for, right? Is like, the thing is, like, I feel like they match up pretty well physically.
Yeah.
Each and every week, and they're in good contested physical, and you know they might lose those physical matchups every once in a while.
Yeah.
The thing that kills this secondary is the mental mistakes.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping this week,
Not talking.
they're going to communicate, they'll be on the same page, and that gets eliminated this week. Because if they can do that, if they can do that, they're going to limit the explosives for New England.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how New England.
Please, Jack Del Rio. This is a confidence game.
Yeah.
For one man, you
For
like if you're going to
Lord
play
have
him,
mercy.
not play him against A.J. Brown by himself. How about you play him against the lost men of New England?
Yeah, I don't even know who's going to start.
I
Let me
don't
look
even
it up
know
real quick.
who's starting for New England. This is the game. You throw him out there. You say, you know what? I'm finna give you like 40 plays. I want to see what you got. Relax.
Okay, so the guys on the depth chart are Jalen Reagor, right? Who is
he got kicked out of the house.
He can play though.
he's got some juice though,
he
but
can
like
run, but he can't catch.
Demario Douglas is that rookie, okay?
Yeah.
Taekwon Thornton, who's that really fast guy from Baylor,
Good.
who hasn't
I
really
remember Thornton.
he hasn't really played well.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster's the third guy on the depth chart, and Keyshawn Bonnet. He's
from LSU.
Yeah, who was
Yeah.
kind of the
Keisha, he was supposed to go a high round draft pick. He dropped in the draft. He just haven't found his footing in the NFL.
right.
yet.
So no one who's like really established themselves, but guys who are
Juju could beat you.
They pros.
they're fast. Like Jalen Reagor is a 4-3 guy. Taekwon Thornton is a legit 4-2 guy.
Yeah.
Legit 4-2 guy.
Yeah.
And so they do have some explosive playmakers, but
this is the game. As
they're
a
not
cornerback.
like NFL receivers. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They're not like there yet.
And as a cornerback, knowing that the quarterback gonna have to beat me from the pocket, I don't have to worry about plays breaking down and me losing Santana, and I got to run behind him. I can just do it from the front, walking down, because I'm dealing with a non-mobile quarterback.
And the other thing that's interesting about this matchup too, I think, is that Mac Jones, I think, is again, he has a good ability to kind of be that point guard. His arm strength is not elite, so he's going to have a hard time pushing the football down the field. I think.
Yeah. I'm saying
I'm for it. I'm for it, but I'm also for just seeing those guys really do that. I mean, you know.
I think that's what we're saying. Yeah.
I'm
right.
not saying. I'm just saying. I want to see our defense rise regardless of who they have out there. I think when you just kind of call those names out, I'm not so now caught up in the whole thing that they don't have anybody. They have capable guys.
They're pros on every team.
But guys who have been
dominant in this league.
like,
What I'm
there's no
saying-
AJ
what I'm
Brown
saying
on the
is-
roster.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, because I'm saying this, and I'm like, I know this is supposed to be a little more positive, that we have allowed guys to be more than what they were. So
Hasn't seen DJ Moore make a play since.
with that being said,
I'm with
that
it, man.
I'm
I'm with it.
hoping.
I'm with it.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm hoping you're right.
I'm just saying, like, do your job.
Yeah, do your
This
job.
is a game where the
On
offense.
paper,
Yeah.
the job's supposed to be done. All right, let's just say
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
But like this, as a corner, the first 8 weeks, I looked at the schedule and I looked at the rosters, and it's like, not him. Please, not him. Oh, New England,
We'll be all right.
we good.
We'll
We
be
good.
all right.
Like, listen, not disrespecting anybody.
But you're saying, Tan, it's like you got to do it.
yeah.
Gotta do it.
And so that's what we're all hoping for. This is a good game for that, and I think they can do it this game.
No doubt.
Looking forward to that.
I got nothing but faith.
I think the D line is going to help them dominate.
I just think if the whole thing is a little bit more consistent, they can make a couple more plays.
Yeah.
I think you're
And
in
that's
a good
what I
spot.
want to see more than anything. I'd rather see consistent play throughout.
Yes.
Not one level
Yes,
outshining
yes.
the other. And that's how you get a defense to play on the same accord. That's how you get a good defense.
Yeah.
When everybody's on the same accord and no one out here fighting to be individuals. You know, we out here playing off of each other, and
I
you
think-
making me better, I'm making you
And
better.
I think
you know
they
what I'm saying?
will. I think they will.
I'm
then-
covering my guy to the T so you can get that sack. You putting pressure so I can get that pick.
Right.
That's how things work.
And then real quick, lightning round before game predictions. One
Yeah.
player you want to see have a standout game.
Manny Forbes. Manny Forbes, I'm riding him to it because I believe in growing pains.
Yeah.
If everybody could play in the NFL, 1 billion people would. A lot of people can't. It takes some players longer to adjust to the NFL than it takes others. I want him to have, because I need that. I don't think you get the best Manny Forbes with him not having confidence.
Right.
All right, once he got confidence on his belt, I think then he turns the page. All right, so Manny Forbes for me.
Yeah, I got a unit. I want the offensive line to click like they clicked last week.
Yeah.
They click like they clicked last week. Going forward, we should be okay.
Yeah, and I was going to say, of the offensive line, Tyler Larson.
Yeah.
Can you do what you did last week, identify the runs correctly, identify the protections correctly, take some of that off Sam Howell's plate?
Yeah.
Because I think that is going to be a huge deal.
And on the road. Offensive line. I seen y'all do it at home when it's quiet, when you got the ball. How can you do it in a hunt style situation?
Yeah, I'm with that. I like that. I like that a lot, Tana, and obviously I agree with you. I'm going to Tyler Larson.
Yeah, I noticed you always agree with Tanner.
Well, I mean, it's easy to
offensive,
agree.
defensive.
It's
I
easy to
understand.
agree
It's
with the guy who's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about game predictions. Tana,
I think I've been the closest every game.
Yeah, I haven't even called any points no more. I'm done with the
Yeah, you gave up weeks ago.
I really haven't gave. I want to see the effort like it been like they played last week. That's what I want to see. I want to see a productive game. I want to see
offensively.
I want to see competitively. I want to see both sides play competitive football.
Yeah.
But all three phases.
What I want to see is the defense in terms of consistency, for like that we got from like the Giants game.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that group a little bit more. No coverage bust. Obviously, there was a couple of Jalen Hyatt things in there, but competitive catches. People are doing the right thing, and you're making plays, and you got to make them. And then offensively, to get to that point, can we maintain that level of efficiency versus a defense that's way more complicated? So that's what I want to see. And in terms of score, shoot, man, I'm going to say 24-17, something like that.
All right, that's kind of nice. I think I'm going to go a different direction in mine. I see New England getting 1 touchdown and maybe 3 field goals. So that's 16 points. I can see that at home. All right?
Yeah,
that's 16 points.
16, yeah.
We've been scoring close to 30. I don't see us getting 30 on Belichick.
I don't think so either.
I see us getting 28 points.
Okay.
So 28 to 16.
That is a very optimistic score. I'm just with that. I said, what did I say, 24? I'm like 21-24 area.
Yeah.
Because I think there's going to be a turnover
I feel a
offensively.
defensive touchdown this game.
I hope so.
That's why I said the points I said, because somebody going to pick up a fumble or somebody finna pick Mac Jones off.
Yeah.
And if you pick Mac Jones off and he got to tackle you, I think you got to – I seen him get stiffed to death already.
K Fuller.
K. Fuller.
Yeah.
Pick six.
Pick six.
Yeah, I don't have no points. I want to. No, I don't. I'm jumping that ship for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I want to see them play the way they know how to play.
I like it.
That's going to allow them to have the be in the game at the end, and then like I said before, the best team standing should be the one that wins.
Because I think this is a game they probably should win.
Yeah.
I hate to say that because they haven't won a lot of games. They probably should win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like to Tana's point. If they don't play like we think they're capable of playing, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's show.
Hold on 1 second.
Whoa,
second.
whoa.
We got a hater alert.
Jumping in here. So I will be going up to New England. It's
Oh.
my first time in Boston. We're going up because Tana and B. Mitch are doing the Command Center.
Yeah,
Dude.
The special.
Yeah,
We
you
do
feel
those
like living
Saturday
your best
nights.
not really. I mean, the flight is a little hectic, so don't get me wrong. Don't be mad that y'all not traveling. I appreciate it.
You know where I
would
be
say that.
I'd rather be with y'all. That's where I would be.
Dude, are you
But I
guys-
want you. But this is what I want you to do. Since it's your first trip to Boston, you got to get you a fresh Samuel Adams. Oktoberfest.
Is this your first trip ever to Boston? No
I've
way.
never been to Boston. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
October
I
is
tried
over,
to get
though.
up there because I'm a big baseball guy. I
Oktoberfest,
tried to
they
get
make
up
it
there.
for
to
like-
defend
But you know
3
the
months.
Foxborough is like
Yeah.
way north of Boston.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It stinks.
we
But
flying in.
All right, and get you some clam chowder while you're there.
Oh, dude, you got it.
yeah.
And maybe a
I'll
lobster roll, Coach.
Yeah, might get you a lobster roll while you're there now.
Dude, lobster rolls are bomb, man.
Yeah. So we'll be working, but hopefully we get some because Santana and B. Mitch, we do the Command Center special.
Yeah.
They'll come out late Saturday night. We record up there a podcast. It's like
So you go like a
Tana,
restaurant or
B. Mitch's
something.
last minute thing. Yeah, we'll be at a restaurant.
Can you
or
fake a
bar.
Boston accent? Can you say park the car?
No,
You can't-
I'm really bad.
that's
All my
actually all right.
accents sound the same.
What's
and
your
it's,
Boston accent?
My aunt does a really good one. Park the car in Harvard Yard for half an hour.
Oh,
What about you,
My
Tanner?
whole family's from Boston. So.
Park
It's long A's.
Don't even think about it. I ain't even trying.
So the reason I'm chiming in, I got a question. To get in that kind of Boston spirit before I go up, I want to watch a Boston movie.
Oh gosh.
Right?
I know
What's
it.
the
I know.
best Boston
The one
movie?
with,
The one where they robbing banks.
The Town.
The Town.
That's
The
about,
Town,
that's about
yes.
South
Ben
Ben
Boston.
Affleck.
Affleck. Anything with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
So
Simple as
then
that.
I would say Good Will Hunting. That has a good Boston vibe to it.
Yeah.
Also, The Departed.
Whitey Bulger.
The Departed
The
is
story of Whitey Bulger.
a Boston movie, right?
Yeah.
So there's 4 right there.
Is that the one with Johnny Depp?
Whitey, yes,
Okay.
Whitey
Or you
Bulger.
can watch the one when what the guy name is from plays Batman. His brother, and he was a boxer.
Oh, The
Christian
Fighter.
Bale.
The Fighter. The Fighter with
Christian
Mark
Bale,
Wahlberg.
right?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg and Christian.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg's from Boston.
Yeah, but another good Boston movie
movie's
is,
named
is
The Fighter.
The Titanic.
Yeah.
Stop.
I
Stop.
kind of want to hear the reasoning behind
I'm
it.
not going to get it.
No, because you thought it was New York.
No,
What-
I
what-
did.
what- okay.
No, I did. I'm not gonna let y'all tear me down about why I feel like the Titanic
tore yourself down.
full of people from Boston.
What? So yeah, why was it?
I'm not gonna
Why?
let you do it. I'm not gonna let y'all do it. Next question.
What are we letting you do? You
I know,
brought it
you-
up.
brought
Every
it up.
time I bring up something, when I
No,
see
look at him, look at him, just
when
look
I
at him
see-
there, just back it up.
When I
Get
see
out.
Logan, when I see Logan eyes blow up, that means he finna go into investigative mode. All right? Like that's when he finna start go asking scouts. He finna go start asking people in the building. All this stuff. But I'm
What
not
does
gonna
the
do it.
Titanic have to
Oh,
do with
Jaws. Jaws is another
The
good.
dude
That's
that
more
was
Cape
driving the
Cod.
Titanic, the captain, the last guy to lead the ship, was from Boston.
So why you want to
Oh,
watch
dude,
the
I don't know.
Titanic? Because he's from Boston.
I don't even know. Should we fact check
Okay.
that? But Jaws, that's more like that's a Massachusetts thing, but that's like Martha's Vineyard.
Did you say Jaws?
Yeah, Martha's
Yeah,
Vineyard.
they all have the Boston accent.
What's the other movie with Ben Affleck when his wife disappeared, or was it his wife?
Oh, Gone Girl.
Yeah,
Go- yeah,
Girl.
yeah.
I don't think that is a
That's not
Boston
Boston,
movie.
though?
That
I
ain't
don't think
Boston?
I just put everything with him to Boston.
Him and Matt Damon.
It's like that movie just looked like it was.
Hey, him
it
and
was-
Matt
they was
Damon.
in Boston somewhere.
Whatever they in, even Marvel be in
I think
Boston.
that was a good list. A lot of gangster movies from Boston.
Yeah,
though.
Boston
Yeah,
is a gangster town.
I'd like our fans to comment on the best Boston
Is
movies.
there?
And I'll
Where's
pick one out
Where's
and
When
watch
Harry Met Sally? That's New York.
That's definitely New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you this. I used to work up there for ESPN in New England and Connecticut, all that area.
Dude, little weird flex there.
No,
Nice.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah, no big deal.
It's lower Umpton. It's always gray.
There's
It's
I
always great.
actually like Boston quite a bit. Like Boston a lot.
Yeah, you probably go to the beach in Boston.
There's no beach in Boston.
Hold on, time out. The funniest part of the show, man, when you say something and Jason has to write down what he has to bleep out.
I know.
No, it makes me look every time like,
What
damn.
did I just say something that needs to be bleeped out?
I just said something. I ain't
Oh,
gonna
you
repeat
say
it.
like 5 things a show.
And he always catch my eye. I'm like, damn, that ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. Jason's pretty good at it too, though. Like, just
Hey,
Oh, he gonna time stamp it and everything.
Yeah.
he just laugh. He just giggled to himself.
I have to listen to this podcast 3 times before it goes out. I listen to
bad.
it
Yeah.
live.
oh
Yeah.
my
I listen
gosh.
to it when I edit it,
Yeah.
and then when it's all done,
gotta-
I listen to
Here
it
go the
one
thing
more
about
time.
Make your
Boston,
job
too.
a
Make sure I
little
catch
easier.
it.
Have you noticed Boston don't got a superhero period from DC or Marvel? Nobody's from Boston capable
Well,
of being a superhero.
so DC is like a fictitious, you
Man,
know,
they
like,
make up their own cities.
like Metropolis is supposed to be
Yeah.
New York.
But see, Marvel use the real cities, and Boston has no hero.
I have to do some research on
Yeah, they
that.
don't. Fish fillet, man.
Well, they don't need one. They have Matt Damon and Ben
And Ben
Affleck.
Hey, isn't no the new superhero from what was that, Wakanda, the new Wakanda,
No, you're not talking about the Black Panther.
Black Panther.
It's from Wakanda.
He is, but the girl in the second one
Riri.
is from
Chicago.
She goes to MIT.
No, she went to MIT, but she's from
but
Chicago.
they pick her
She
up.
from
Listen up.
South
Listen up.
Side
Listen up.
Chicago.
They pick her up
At MIT.
at MIT.
Well, guess what?
So it's a Boston movie.
No. She's
mean-
going to school at MIT.
But where in the movie, what
Yeah.
do you see on the screen? Do you see
You got a
Chicago
point.
or do you see
You got a point.
Boston?
She just said
Tanner.
she's from Chicago.
See,
but
she's born and
But she-
raised in Chicago.
She do say she's from Chicago, but she is picked up in
In
Boston.
the comic
In Boston.
books, she is from Chicago. In the movie, she is from Chicago. If everybody that go to school somewhere, that means I'm from Stanford. Do you got that?
You went to Mississippi State, dog.
No, I went to business
For 2
school at
weeks.
Stanford.
For 2 weeks.
For 2 semesters.
online. DeVry.
Doing COVID.
I stand for DeVry.
Doing COVID.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Please leave a comment about your favorite Boston movie. Leave your own predictions for the game, and make sure you tune in next week.
Wakanda forever.
Park the car.
We finally got something out of it.